There are 33 known species of pinnipeds, commonly known as seals, found in various locations around the world. The gray seals are very popular, and you may find it interesting that many of them breed in Scotland annually. You will find many species of seals live in very cold environments. They are able to do so comfortably due to the thick layers of blubber they have under their skin. This fat helps to keep them well insulated.
Seals look like very gentle creatures, though with their brownish bodies and their small head. They are mammals due to the fact that they offer milk to their young pups until they are old enough to feed their own. They are warm-blooded, to which is why they depend on their layers of fat to keep them warm when necessary. Anatomy of a seal is quite interesting, and you may think that they don't have a body that is built quite for their needs. This is because most of us see seals on land and their bodies are more designed for their needs in the water. They have fat bellies that they slide on awkwardly as they move along land. The fat has to be there in order to keep them warm.
The elephant seal is the largest species of seal, which reaches up to 16 feet and weighs 6,600 pounds.
The overall size of seals will depend on the species you are discussing. The seals are about from 4 feet to 13 feet long and from 150 pounds to 8,500 pounds weight. The colorings of seals are dark, which allows them to absorb the heat from the sun. At the same time, it allows them to be protected from it. They range in color from light gray to dark black depending on the species. They are some that are white in color as well. They are in the water. A seal is able to benefit the most from its anatomy. They are large animals but able to gracefully move through the water at speeds up to 23 miles per hour. They have flippers which help them to move along in the water. They have long whiskers that allow them to pick up vibrations from their prey and predators while in the water. A seal has a head that often seems too small for its much larger body. They have pointed nose on the end. They feature mouth of 30 to 36 teeth that are extremely sharp. They use them to tear chunks of prey to swallow as well as to defend themselves. The males are known to lightly bite the females during mating with them as well. All seals have hair on them, but only few species have thick coats that can get them hunted for them. You may have to look very close at other species of seals to see their hair. It is very thick though as well as very short. There can be several layers of the hair on their body. This hair doesn't do much to offer insulation for the seal. However, it is believed it helps them to move easily in the water. They have a gland that excretes oil and that keeps their hair waterproof. Many people lump seals into the same category as whales and dolphins. It may be alarming when you see it what you think is a dead seal. However, there is a very good chance that is simply sleeping. Their breathing slows down significantly to save energy.
On land, seals appear ungainly, moving around by humping along on their bellies, but do not be deceived. An enraged adult seal can move considerably faster than a person can over a short distance, especially over slippery rocks. In water, seals are masters of their element. Seals propel themselves through the water by sideway movements of their powerful hind flippers. When moving at speed, the front flippers are held tight to the body but are used to great effect when the seal has turned tightly. Seals find the foods that they need in the water around them, which is why you will only find them where there is plenty of water. Their primary sources of food include fish, but they will consume just about any type of meat they can get in the water. Other types of food that they enjoy include squid, octopus, shellfish. Sometimes, food sources are low due to the big ships fishing for such items in the same waters as the seals hunt. Seals don't take the time to chew their food even though they have sharp teeth. When they consume small enough types of food sources, they will simply swallow them. If they are after something large, they will tear it into large chunks. They have very powerful back molars that they can depend on to easily crush what they need in order to make it small enough to swallow. Seals don't take the time to drink water either. They are able to get all of the water they need from the food that they consume. When they aren't able to find enough food, their body helps to make up for the loss. They start to break down the fat called blubber, and that produces enough water for them. This can be dangerous though if they are losing too much fat. This is due to the fact that this fat helps to keep their body temperatures where it needs to be. You will notice that seals have whiskers on their face as a physical characteristic. These whiskers serve a purpose, though, of helping them to find their prey. Even in the dark-colored waters, they are able to do so because their whiskers are very sensitive to movements and to vibrations around them. Some people assume that seals have poor eyesight since they use their whiskers, but they see quite well. They are able to find prey through sight both during the day and at night. Seals have very sensitive ears and they can hear their prey very far away. The one sense they don't use for feeding is their sense of smell. They can move along very well in the water when they are feeding. They usually are doing so at a speed of about 20 miles per hour. When you see a seal moving underwater to feed, they are more graceful than when you see them lugging their bodies around on land. The mothers are very caring towards their pups from the start. They feed them gallon after gallon of milk that is 1/2 fat. This allows their young to grow very rapidly. They won't feed themselves during this time based on the behaviors of most species of seals. When the mothers can no longer fend off their own hunger, they will go to the water to feed, leaving their pup alone.
As breeding season emerges, the males will start to turn on each other. The tension and the aggression that they display are their way of being the one that the females of interest will turn to. There is evidence to suggest the males are producing more hormones during this period of time which the females are attracted to. The females will develop an egg that is protected in the uterus by fluids. She too will produce more of her hormones, and as a result, she is going to take an interest in the males that are around her. The dominant of the males are the ones that will get the right breed with the females. The males don't even eat during this period of time because they don't want to raise other females trying to breed with the female that they are interested in. The males don't mate with only one female though. Instead, they will mate with as many of them as they possibly can. It can take up to 9 months for the pup to be fully developed and then born. When the pup is about to be born, the female will make her way back to their breeding ground. The reproduction process for seals takes place either on land or in the water. What is very surprising is that the young are all born on land rather than in the water. The mothers are very caring towards their young pups. They smell it and make a call that there is pup will instantly memorize. It is through the smell and those calls that they will able to continually communicate with each other and to find each other. These behaviors are extremely important during the first few moments of life. If the mother doesn't smell and recognize her offspring, she will refuse to feed it. As a result, these pups will starve to death. Sometimes the males are too aggressive in the area and they will trample the offspring if the females can protect them. Some of the pups have been able to nurse from other female when they are abandoned by their own mothers. This generally will occur when a female hare has lost her own pup. The pups are fed milk from the mother's body for their first month of life. They can gain more weight during this period of time. The milk is very rich in fat so that the pups develop the layers of blubber they need to stay warm enough. The mother doesn't leave the pup during the first month of life to get food for herself. When she does have to go, she won't return to the pups for their further feedings.
Seals live in large groups. Therefore, it may seem chaotic from an outsider's point of view. Yet, they are very happy and content in their larger groups. In fact, this is one of their primary defenses against predators. The seals form a social hierarchy that takes place within those subgroups. This is how order is maintained and how they determine their place in the group. Males often have the most power and those that are the strongest are dominated. This is very true during mating, but also holds true the rest of the time. This is why they are often challenged by the younger males. In other species, it is the age of seals that seem to dictate the social structure. Those that are young and able to best protect the group are in charge. As a seal gets older, they will be challenged by the younger ones. The females do have some authority, but most of it on the shoulders of the males. They are the ones that decide if the entire group will move for food or when their natural habitat has been drastically compromised. The females are less likely to be aggressive with each other. They are very social when it comes to the care of their pups. This starts from the moment that the pup is born. They can become aggressive during that period of time if other pups are too close or other females try to get close to their young. Generally, all it takes is for these dominant males to start the movement on their own. Then, the rest of the group of seals will choose to follow them on their own. It is believed by many researchers that there are layers and layers of social structures found within a group of seals. Many of them aren't fully evident though, unless you carefully examine the group as a whole for long periods of time. When a male has successfully changed one of the dominant ones, the power will change hands. When one in charge dies or large numbers of seals die due to an illness, the entire structure of it will change dramatically.
Many humans view seals as a water creature that is fun to look at. They are often amused by their songs, the way they arch their heads to the sound, and the way they clap their flappers. Yet, not everyone out there is an avid fan of seals. Many humans compete for the same land as them. They have no conscience about destroying the natural habitat for these seals in order to meet their own selfish needs.
Seals have been known to attach humans to that come too close to them. Most of the time, this is during breeding season when they have higher levels of hormone and they are more irritable. Many seals attack to protect themselves or their young because they feel threatened even if the humans around them have no intention of harming them. Many fishermen depend on the catches they get from the waters to pay for their way of life. When seals get tangled up in their nets, they end up losing their catch and they have to replace expensive equipment. Collisions between seals and boats can also result in costly repairs. The fact that both humans and seals in this scenario are competing for the same food sources in the water makes them enemies from the start. Seals are very often negatively impacted by the pollution that humans release into the water and into the air. Particulars, including smog, smoke, and more, can affect their breeding. When there are oil spills or chemical spills in the water, it can destroy a large number of seals very quickly. The hunting of seals is illegal in many locations, but it is a sport that continues regardless. In some areas, seals are used for meat and for oil. In others, they are simply hunted for the sport of it. Many fishermen hunt so that there is less to deal with in the water. They know if they remove the number of seals, they will have more fish to bring in for profit. Yet, there are plenty of interactions between humans and seals that are very helpful. For example, when they are identified with parasites or other viruses, humans can step in to segregate the sick from the healthy. This can help to isolate the problem and for them to prevent the healthy seals from being affected as well. It is believed that various toxic materials found in the water and in the air from humans reduces the effectiveness of the immune system for seals. This is why they become highly susceptible to various types of viruses. Careful observation of seals from humans has allowed us to learn a great deal about them. We understand their intelligence as well as their place in the balance of things that affect us all. It is through such interactions of humans and seals that conservation efforts, including protection and awareness, have been created. There has to be a way for humans and seals to live in harmony. For that to occur, we need to respect their natural environment. We also need to pay attention to what we are doing in the way of pollution. Different species of seals live in different locations. That is why seals have their own number of friends and neighbors. It differs in their location and habitat. An example is in South Bay, California, where scuba divers found out that lobster and horn sharks coexist with seals. Seals also coexist with different species of fishes and other marine animals.
The lifespan for a seal depends on the species of it and the natural environment it is in. Some of them have been known to live up to 40 years.